Hello. Today I want to talk about contests. In fact, I'm going to talk about the next video also. Today we're going to talk about the quote for-profit contests. Okay. The next video will be about the non-profits. Okay. So my goal, it's a couple goals. One is to find these, I guess you would call them diamonds in the rough. For example, William, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's called Malawi. He's famous for building a windmill from spare parts while he grew up in a poor farming village with no uh, reliable electricity. He went on to speak at TED and attended Dartmouth College. And then there's, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Srinivasa from India. He grew up in poverty in India, and then he um, went to England, okay, after sending his work to the University of Cambridge. So there are probably lots and lots of poor kids out there who have genius among them, but because of their financial situation, they don't get found. So I designed all of my contests to be $2 or less. So my goal is that people can take the exams for a very low price and win pretty good prizes. So at the beginning, phase one, I want to offer, say, $10,000 competitions. Okay. So let's take a look at this one, phase one. And winners would be 100 students, each getting $100 in educational tools. For example, books, robots, science kits, STEM, whatever. As long as it's educational, okay, then they'll get up to $100 for that prize. They get to choose what they want as long as it's educational. So I'm hoping that I can get a lot of competitions going, get Exam Giant more famous, and then we can go on to phase two, which will go up to $1 million or more for these competitions. Now, one of the things, because these are for profit, is I am hoping to attract businesses to say, here is $50,000. Create a competition, advertise my company, and then the 50,000 is yours. And then you try to attract lots of students. And the good thing about this, not only does the company get, advertising, but let's say 100,000 students compete. Well, the company has two options. One, they can say, okay, that's okay. Put all that into the competition. Or, hey, I'll take that extra 50,000 profit. So they'll get back 100,000 minus a platform fee. But so this helps many ways. It helps students. They say, hey, it's guaranteed 50,000 minimum or 100,000, or just 10,000. You say, okay, I'll pay my $1 or $2 for this competition. And then, well, the next video we'll talk about the nonprofit ones. But anyway, so the other type of contest is for teams. When I was younger, I competed in, I don't remember what it's called, something bowls, academic bowls, where a team of four would compete against another team of four. Of course, I was on the math team. uh, I was useless in English and other those type of subjects. But anyway, Some of the schools would compete against other schools. Well, that's what I want to do here, except make it global. And then they can compete against each other. So this would allow schools then to get prize money. And their prize money would be for, maybe getting computers or, science kits, robots, whatever. The entry fee, I'm just guessing here, maybe $100 for each school. And then they would choose 8 students. And there's 8 different things. For example, let's take a look at practice. We might have 1 or 2 math. We'll have an English. Uh, Maybe or may not have spelling. That's a little harder to keep from cheating because one of the things I want to make sure is that there's no cheating. Maybe science when I add an extra science in here. Definitely 1 or 2 geographies, and then civics and government, and then definitely memory. Okay, so I'll just make sure that there are 8 of these categories. Okay, I don't know how many I just mentioned there, but we'll make sure there's 8. And so schools will try to find the best student for each of these, and then they'll compete against other schools. And then if there's enough schools registering, then I can give prizes for best in the state, best in the country, best in the world. But anyway, that is my goal. And again, companies can advertise and say, hey, this is brought to you by Pepsi or Coca-Cola or whatever. But the main goal is to provide low cost entries where almost anyone can enter. Okay. All right. Tell me what you think, and you all have a nice day. Bye.